Welcome back, this is Chip Byers, and I'm going to be taking you through the process of putting the textures back on the crate that we've actually created in Substance Painter. Place them back onto the crate and then scaling the crate to the correct scale that we need. And then we'll go ahead and export it out as an FBX object and then bring it into Unreal. So let's go ahead and get this part done, and I'll show you how to put all the textures back on from Substance Painter as PBR materials. Alright, so what we want to do is you want to right click over the object, assign new material, and we want to assign a Maya material, and we're going to click on standard surface. The reason why we click on standard surface is because it allows us to do a color map. It allows us to do a metalness map and roughness, and of course the normal map. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and set our project. I always want to do this when we start projects up. So go to my computer, find my hard drive, and click on the folder that I'm going to have all my textures in. It should be the same folder as you have your scenes in. So I got that set. Let's go ahead and once I have that set up, I can go to my texture that I created. I'm going to go ahead and rename the texture. Let's just call it Crate TX. And next to the base color, we're going to go ahead and add the base color. Now, when I went ahead and exported out PNGs and JPEGs and Targas. I'm probably going to use PNGs, bringing it into Maya so it sees it properly. And then from there, when I export it out into Unreal, I'll probably go into Unreal and try to use the JPEGs, because the JPEGs will use a lot less resource in a game engine, so it'll run a lot faster and better. But if not, we can use the PNGs. I've got both. All right, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to go to File. I'm going to turn Filter Type to off, and we're going to go ahead and just load the textures in now. So I'm going to use the base texture. Click on that. And you can see it loads kind of funny, so we need to turn the UDIM tiling on. So I'm going to go to UDIM Mari. Okay, I'm going to click on Generate. And under Color Space, I'm going to keep it as sRGB. Now you can see that it is now showing the textures properly. Okay. So with that done, we're ready for the next. That's all we're going to do with that. Now we're going to turn color balance on for some other materials, but right now that's all we have to do for this one. And I'm going to go out and then go and start adding the maps, the metal map to the metalness channel, and just do the same thing, 2D texture file, and just continue on. I'm going to turn filter type to off, and this time I'm going to click on metallic and click open, and continue doing UDIM Mari, generate, and then in here we're going to go to sRG. We're going to go to utility raw. Okay, and I'm going to click alpha is luminance. The minute I do that, then I'm able to see my object. Okay, and you can see that the metal map is working really well. Okay. All right, so the next one I'm going to go out, and then I'm going to click on go next to the roughness channel. We're going to plug in the roughness map. And so let's go zoom up, or just scroll up and go to filter type off, and then we're going to click on the roughness map, open that up. And then tiling mode, of course, is going to be UDIM Mari, and then click generate selected, generate preview, and scroll down, and color space will be utility raw. and then alpha is luminance on that. So we've got two things going on here. We've got the specular map. Now you can see where the specular is just letting certain parts of that map to reflect the light, which is really cool. So that's looking really good. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so the next one is the bump map. So I'm going to kind of get out of that area. So we got the color, we got the metalness, we got the roughness, and scroll down to geometry, and next to bump mapping, click on the option box. 2D textures, file, and use as. We need to change that to tangent space normals. Click on the arrow, and we'll go from filter type to off, and we'll click on the normal map. And there it is. You can see the normal map on that, and click open. Okay. And with this one, we want to UV tiling to Utamari. Of course, that messes everything up. And then we click on generate preview, and it's still not showing properly. It's starting to look better. And color space is utility raw. Okay, there, and that looks a lot better. And then alpha map, alpha is luminous, turn that off. Okay, that needs to be turned off. So now everything is looking just like what I had in Substance Painter. Now PNGs work the best with Utum tiles with PBR textures, okay? JPEG, it will, if you use JPEG and Maya, trying to do PBR texturing or Utum tiles, you will get some warnings about it because JPEGs really don't support that high resolution of a texture. I mean, the way the PBR is set up, it has an issue with it. So I would use PNG to preview what you have, okay, in Maya. I'll go ahead and save it out. You can save whatever you want. Texture applied, and I'm just going to type in new. I've done this several times now. New, okay. Save as, replace it, no. Let's do _01. There we go. Okay, so we got it saved out. Now we need to save it. Go ahead and select the object and go to File. And go to Export Selection. And in here, we want to go to FBX, wherever that is. There we go, FBX Export. And in here, we'll click on Export Selection. And a couple things we need to open up or check mark is smoothing groups. Now I've done this before, so I will have a check mark, but you probably won't. So make sure you check mark that. And then scroll down to advanced options. Of course, that will be closed. Open that up and click on FBX format, which I already have open. And then you need to choose the latest version of FBX, okay, which is 2020 in Maya that I have. And then you rename it. So since I've done this several times, I'm going to do all caps create UVTX underscore new import. All right. A little crazy, but at least I know what that is. FBX, go ahead and export. Okay, so that's exported. The next thing I've got to do is I have to rename my files. So I'm going to get my files open. So you'll need to open up your files where your textures are, and I'll take you through the next step. Okay, so I found my files, and these are all the files that I have. Okay, so it's going to be kind of a pain, but you have to rename every one of these. Unreal, unfortunately, Unreal 5 does a better job at understanding Utum tiles. So this is the worst part of it. You're going to have to rename your files. Okay, so what I would recommend is you create a new folder. Okay, and let's just call that renamed crate underscore PNGs. Now, the thing with this is that I need to take this and copy it, because if I were to get rid of these or rename them, I wouldn't be able to go back to Maya and use them, because the naming convention that Maya needs are correct, okay? But the naming convention in Unreal needs to be, you have to put the 1001 at the end, right before the file format, okay? So I'll talk about that in just a second. So I'm going to go Control C. So I want to copy those. I don't want to rename those. I want to rename the ones I'm going to put in here, okay? That way I can use these other textures when I go into Maya and I want to render something or use that create in Maya and use it in a scene. I have my textures that are ready for that. So these will be, instead of rename, I should put Unreal. Let me just do that. Unreal. There we go. Create PNGs. Okay. So in here I want to go ahead and let's view those as list. There we go. So let's view it as a list. So I don't want to do anything with that. I just kind of want to take that 101. Okay. So I'm going to rename that 101 like this. Okay. And Control C, or actually Control X, and put it at the very end. Control V. Okay, so like that. That's what I need to do. I need to make sure that it's set like that. You can use any program that you can get your hands on to rename stuff. That's up to you. But what you're going to do is you're going to rename the 4. See the 4 right here, the 4. 1001, and you're going to put that at the end, and then in 1002 you put that at the end. So if you make mistakes, if this is 1002 and you put it at the end and you put 1003 instead of 1002, it's going to mess everything up. So you have to just be really careful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to pause the video. Of course, that would be crazy to have you wait through all that, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. Okay, I'm all done renaming now. You could, I looked into trying to do a bulk renamer, renaming multiple files. The problem with that is that, yes, it will let you rename stuff, but the thing is, it'll name everything the same, okay? This is a sequence, so we've got 1001, we have groups of 4, plus we have base color, metallic, normal, roughness, okay? So it's looking for these numbers in the Unum tile sequence, okay? So you're going to have to find a really smart renaming program to rename stuff, just to move or rename it and do the sequence here every 4. If you find a renamer that will do it just every 4 in bulk, then you're great. You're good to go, so go for it. Otherwise, you're going to be renaming them by hand. And that's okay too, it just takes time. All right, so I got my Unreal Create PNGs, so they're all ready to go. I got my original PNGs. So yeah, there's a big footprint now. I mean, let me take a look at what the properties are right here. That's not too bad, 96.6 megabytes for the PNGs. That's actually pretty good. And these are 4K. Okie dokie. So that's a lot better than I thought it would be. Let me check that again. 28 files. Yep, that's correct. All right. So we got everything done there. We know where it is. So now we just need to go back into Unreal Engine. So get that started. Go ahead and pause the video. Get your Unreal open. And I'll take you through the sequence of getting everything set up for that. The next thing we need to do is scale our crate or object up to the scale that we need for the scene in Unreal. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, the scale is set, so we're going to go ahead and scale this up. We're in centimeters, so what we're going to do is go into Preferences. So you can go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, and under Settings, make sure you're set at centimeter. And you just kind of have to guesstimate how big you want your object to be. So if I look at this and I want my crate to be, let's say, 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, which is a huge crate, and it'd be 4 feet tall. So this is be quite a large crate, and that's what I want, then great. So what you do is you look at the grid, and each grid cube of the grid is 1 square foot. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 feet wide, and then of course in the front view I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2, which is 8 feet, 8 cubes wide. So set up the scale in centimeters. So whatever a centimeter is equals a foot. Okay. All right. The next thing you do now is with that, you want to go ahead and hold down and just pull down, like hold that, pull down, and then type in 30.48. Okay. So 30.48. Kind of delete the history and everything, and I'm going to send this out. So export selection, okay, FBX export, and we'll do this one more time. And of course I want to make sure that smoothing groups is on and FBX 2020 is selected. So I'm gonna keep this one, okay, and I'm gonna add a new one, and this one's going to be new import large, and see how it goes. When we import it, we'll know right away. Okay, and I'm going to click on save selected, export selection, and we'll go back into Unreal. Okay, I've got Unreal open, so I do want to go ahead and import the object and see how it looks. I'm going to click on import. And we're going to go to import to game, imports an asset from the file of this folder. So let's go in here and let's go ahead and find out where my assets are. And they are in here. There we go. And my scenes, so I've got crate large, crate small. So I'm going to import the small one. Okay. And let's go ahead and import all. There we go. Right, great. And then I'm going to import the other one. And it looks actually pretty big. Yeah, it imported it pretty good. So that's the small one. So I think the scale is right. So I may have scaled it too much, but 30.48, you do want to scale that. If it's not enough, then go back and add another 30.48. It's kind of wonky how this all works, but you do scale it. So get in centimeters, like I said, get the scale right, and then go into the scale X, Y, and Z and type in 30.48. And that's what I had done before. So it looks like it did good, and that's the scale that I want, so I'm good with that. All right, so what do I want to do? Well, we need the textures in here, so we need to go ahead and set up the textures. So I'm going to go to settings and project settings, and under project settings I'm going to go ahead and type in virtual, because we're going to use virtual textures. And in here, under virtual textures, we're going to click on enable virtual texture support. This is going to prompt that we restart. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart. This may take a while to compile everything, but once it gets compiled, then we're good to go. So I'm going to restart now. And of course, save selected. Okay, it's all finished compiling. It took about 10 minutes to do my scene, and if you got a lot in your scene, it's going to take a long time. So just be patient. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Nothing really has changed in here. So we need to import our textures. Now what I want to do is I do want to, in the content folder, I do want to create my own folder. And I want this folder to be, I'm just going to call it 1A so it sticks out at the front. And I'm just going to type in my name and then assets on here. Okay. Okay, so it sticks out right here. And I am going to go ahead and probably, I don't know if I can do this, put those in there. Let me do that. Move here, yeah. And then move this one in here. See if that works. Here we go. There we go. If this doesn't work, I'll have to pull them back out again. Otherwise, I can import them back in here again. We'll see what happens. And we'll double click on the... And we are going to get rid of this. And I'm going to go ahead and import the textures that I have in here. Okay. Find my textures. Here we go. And then source images, and of course my textures. Let's do detailed list here. These are all my PNGs. I want to select the first one. Oh, that's not the ones I want. I want the Unreal. Let's do that again. Oh, there we go. So I went in here and just clicked on list, and it shows me exactly the first one. So you only need to click the first one. You don't have to open these all up at once. Just click on the first one and open it. And this may take a while. Okay, so it shows up, which is pretty cool. So it'll show up as VT, virtual texture. So if I hover over it, you can see that I've got under, at the very bottom, it shows all the textures that went in. And if you see all of the textures, and mine did come in, you're good to go. So click off. So the renaming was a success. And that's how it pulls it in. It streams that in as a virtual texture. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and pull the rest of the textures in. So we're going to go to import, and we're going to go to import game assets and continue with importing these in. So we've got the first one. We got the base color of each one of them. We need to click on the metallic. Okay, and that will compile all the metallic ones from 1 to 7. Okay, there's the metallic. We'll continue doing this for the rest of them. Next one is the normal map. Compile that one. And we got one more, which is the roughness map. And we compile that one. All right, so we got the color. We've got the metallic, we've got the normal map, and we've got the roughness map. So let's go ahead and drag and drop these into this area here. Let's zoom out just a bit, smidgen out here, and bring that up like that. And let's pull the metallic in. And we can pull that off to the side here like that. And let's pull the roughness in. And pull that one in, then we'll pull the normal map in. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down a little bit more so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, and zoom in a little bit more, kind of move this around. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and do RGB into the base color. We're going to do alpha. Okay, into alpha out with the metallic into the metallic. channel. Let's do the alpha out as the out of the roughness into the roughness channel. Let's do the RGB out into the normal. Okay. All right, so we can just whatever, situate those the way you want, and then we can click on apply, and then we're going to click on save, and then you can close that once it's done. And you'll notice that we have, it looks like a texture on our object, our asset, and let's go ahead and go through and put it into the scene, and we can now see it. Okay. And all right, so let's go ahead and let's build lighting. Let's build the scene, and let's see what it looks like inside of the engine. Okay, looks like we have everything built. I'm going to go ahead and go up to and see the scale of the chest. That looks pretty good. And all the detail looks like it's on there from what I put on there. So looks good. Great. So go ahead and load everything else in. I'll load all your assets in there. You need to have 4. And great. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you guys, and I look forward to seeing how your courtyards turn out. All right, have a good day, and I will see you guys later.